so I'm hoping the connection is coming through okay. Looks like the signal's struggling just a tad. Had to run a new mesh network to be able to secure the connection, but it looks like it's winning right now. So hopefully it's back. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I want to thank you for all the wonderful messages of being missed from Rogue and all that kind of good stuff. And again, been going through a transition period. Got the new office set up, and a lot of different things happening. In which at some point I'll make sure to fill you all in. But definitely have missed being behind the mic with V, and we will definitely be coordinating our schedules here real soon to get back in the saddle and be delivering you the hard hitting topics that we do on Rogue. I've been listening quite a bit, but unfortunately, been able to get on the mic and discuss things. So, again, appreciate your patience and looking forward to getting back with V and all the comments. So, if you could do me a favor through the chat, can't hear me. Okay. So something's. Can you hear me now? Crank up the volume. Okay. There's no volume is what's being said. I see that. Okay. No proper sound. So there we go. So something is happening already. Let me crank up the audio just a tad bit. I'm definitely in the stream. It's scratchy and volume is low. So let me turn up my mic gain. Give me 1 second. Turn down the audio there. Okay, now it may be a little bit too loud. Move the mic a lot closer. Does it sound any better? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is that any better? If you just a heads up, a thumbs down. The sound is any better coming through? Is it still real scratchy coming through on the reset? Yeah, it's unfortunate. The stream is getting the right bandwidth needed. It's just a matter of if it's coming through or not. I can crank down the adjustment, but if you could just let me know if the mic is coming through any better. Still bad sound. Huh. That's pretty odd. Very odd. Right. Let me test one more thing real quick. Still bad sound. Okay. Static. Oh no, that's not good at all. That's not good at all. Give me 1 second. Let me change microphone settings and see if it helps. It could very well could be. So give me 1 second, and I'm gonna get this video back up real quick, and then readjust things, and I'll be right back. Okay, is that any better? Let me know. I changed microphones away from my normal mic into something different. So is it coming through any clearer right now? I changed my mic setting. So let me know, because if not, I'm going to have to shut down the the stream and come back, but anything better right now? Much better. Okay. Amanda says much better. Anyone else? Is the microphone? I can hear you much better. Okay, great. So that's unfortunate. I'll have to figure out what's going on with that particular microphone, but clear here. Okay, great. Okay, excellent. Well, I appreciate that, and we're going to hit the reset button on this stream. Again, want to thank you all for tuning in, and I've been listening and reading all the comments in regards to people saying, "Where's CJ? Are you alive? Are you what's going on?" And been going through a bit of transition. Still getting the new office set up. Had to get the fiber optics ran in to get the internet speed where I needed to be. I couldn't dictate in my new office setting in regards to, I always like to be hardlined, but I am on Wi-Fi. And when I initially tried to connect my system to live stream to the Wi-Fi, it wasn't working on the equipment that was provided by the ISP. So I had to go out and transition and go to an entire new mesh network. I'm kind of a geek like that. And so I set up the entire different system, and the speed, it seems like it's working. I'll have to figure out what's going on the microphone. So needless to say, yes, I'm back. I'm here. I'm live. It's been a minute. Again, want to thank you all for all the comments and the Discord, everything that you've been doing. And we got quite a people in the house. I think you're primarily just checking in to see if I'm still alive. So Annie, welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. Yeah, I know. BM, crank up the volume. Yeah, I hear you. I know it's been a challenge lately. UT, yes, hopefully you can hear me now. UT, it's back. Armando, welcome Armando. It says the mic is broken, but hopefully you can hear me now. Again, want to thank you all. Village guys in the house. What's up, Bill? Good to see you here. As always, and Revolutionary Bliss is in the house. General So is in the house. Love the hat, by the way. Amy, gosh, there's a familiar face from OKC back in the day. So welcome, Amy. Lots to discuss tonight. Before I jump into it, so lots of things happening, lots of changes going on in regards to some of the things that are happening not only globally, but in terms of the way that we're producing content. I want to let everyone know first and foremost that we do have a new permalink to join the Rogue Discord. So you no longer have to email CJ. So I will post the link soon, and it's an open link, meaning there's no expiration on it. You can share the link for people to join the Rogue Discord. Let's just keep an eye out for trolls, people that are jumping in that have the open link. But I will get that posted real soon. So no need to email me anymore for the link to join the Rogue Discord. I will get that link posted here real soon. And then also do me a favor, if you have not done so yet, jump over and check out, if the link is in the description, for the CJ OMC Open Mic Cast. Again, it's just kind of my attempt to kind of change the format, if you will, of podcast more into like an open mic source where we're getting different commentary, getting people joining the stream versus some of the monologues, the long-winded monologues that and I'll be honest, some of the content that I'm looking at like producing is more the lines of what Twitter Spaces is doing. I'm going to jump into that here in a moment, because it's more like a town hall type forum where there's several people in a room together. You allow a bunch of commentators to come up. You can open the mic up and allow people to contribute to the conversation. I think that's a much more robust type of dialogue, especially when we're all navigating through this massive change that's occurring. So do me a favor, jump over to Open Mic Cast. The link is in the description, and check out there, because again, we're going to be producing a lot more content there. Also over on Telegram. Telegram is kind of the place to be nowadays. It's again, it's just so many great channels that are there, and I'm trying to share as much resource there to the Telegram channel of Open Mic Cast. All the links are in the description, so you can jump over there. Also, if you're tuning in, you're probably listening on the YouTube channel here, so I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button while you're there. And then follow me over on Twitter. I'm very active over on Twitter as well, which is at CJ Gonzalez1. Clubhouse is also similar. Agree, Amy. It's very similar in terms of that format and what's happening. And we're gonna be talking about
Twitter Space, which is kind of a new type of platform in regards to delivering content. But before we do that, I want to kind of break down a few things. Good to see you as well, Celeste. Welcome. Long time no see. A few things, as much as I wanted to jump in, trust me, I've been listening to stream sometime, and I'll have my phone. I'm like, I'll just jump in and do it on my phone. I have some commitments that I've signed up for that have kind of changed my schedule a little bit. So therefore, I'm going to have to work around that. And so the first part was the transition of getting the new studio set up, the new office, making sure that the stream was working right. I can tell by the signal I'm having still just a little bit of struggle with it. It's getting through it, but it's still not the strength that it needs to be. So hopefully you're still hearing me loud and clear. There's so many distractions that are happening right now in the world. So many distractions from the key points of what's happening to us economically, geopolitically, and I think we need to assess that. We need to understand, what that is and why they're trying to create so much static, if you will. We'll call it static, we'll call it noise, we'll call it, quite a bit of different things. Welcome again. So let's point out some fundamental change that's happening. And I posted this on my Twitter, also my personal social media as well. And that is the recent meeting of what has happened. And again, if you haven't read it yet, I'll put the link to this article in the description. And this article is by Pepe Escobar. And that's the recent meeting between Xi and Putin. And Pepe Escobar does a phenomenal job of really breaking this down. And especially if you've been a Rogue listener for a while, like to see this pivotal moment that's happening in time, literally we've been documenting this exact moment through interviews with, let's go back in the days with Ken Shortgun Jr., London Paul, Jim Willey, B. We have been literally documenting the pivot that has been like a slow motion pivot that has occurred and is happening slowly and turning as the wheelhouse is turning, and we're seeing this shift occur. And now it's kind of happening in real time. It's happening at a much significant, faster pace. And specifically what I'm talking about is that the world is changing. And Pepe Escobar in this article, and I'm not sure I think he may have very well attended some of these meetings, but in his article he specifically takes note of what transition in Moscow. And what I have stated was that this was pretty much kind of a public announcement, which most of the people who are listening to this stream knew a long time ago, is that the days of dollar dominance of Western hegemony is gone. And people are seeing for what it is. And in this meeting, again, there were much of the Western influence who were trying to, disrupt this, to say that Russia and China don't have a true alliance. This meeting really kind of destroyed that entire narrative, because the amount of not only public commentary in regards to Putin announcing that literally that they're going to be doing a significant more bout of balanced trade in sovereign currencies in their own, in the days of the US dollar are over. And he pretty much in a roundabout way kind of said that. But there were several signatures that took place through this meeting, very significant, predominantly regarding economic development. In these signatures, they also really asked for a better understanding and trying to bring a peaceful resolution to the situation in Ukraine, which Putin was very much open to, in allowing China to take an active role in that process. Now we know that that's not going to happen, right? We know that this is kind of the as V has stated numerous times, is that Ukraine is where the dollar goes to die. It sets its last days. So we know why this is so important in regards to the power structure of dollar dominance in terms of the monumental shift away from a unilateral type environment more to a multinational type currency based system, potentially backed by gold, silver. This pivot is happening in real time. And Pepe's article, I could tell the excitement in him writing it, and I'm excited as well, primarily because, again, we've been talking about this monumental shift for so long here at Rogue, at least the past decade, in terms of what we're realizing now in real time, and this is happening. Not only in these agreements is it economic, but they also talk about pointing out and calling out the United States and saying that they want to have a clear understanding of the biological weapons programs of the United States. And, what do those biological weapons programs mean? What's their intention? Whether it's in Ukraine, whether it's the lab in Wuhan, China, that the United States, actively funded. What are these biological weapons programs truly about? And they call for a lot more transparency within that. So there's no doubt, and you won't read this. That's the amazing thing. Like everything that took place in this monumental meeting between Xi and Putin, relatively silence for the most part in U.S. media. Instead, they want to feed you the divide and conquer mentality of the political landscape here in our country. And so, so added a lot of new pages on the Discord. Yes, so VM, let's pivot away from that. So VM said, yes, for sure, Amanda. Amanda posted, yeah, pivoting for sure, but I never hear anything about @JetBlake on other shows, even though he is correct. You just want more followers. Shame. I don't quite understand what, Armando, you mean by that. You want more followers? Shame. Armando, I'm going to call you out on that, bro, because listen, like I haven't done a stream in 30 days. So I don't know what you mean by you just want more followers by that. I think you need to check your comments, bro, because I think you're way out in left field on that comment, especially directed at me. VM, you add a lot of new pages to Discord. Yes, so I have turned over ownership of the Rogue Discord, similar to I created the Rogue YouTube channel, way back in the days, kind of build it up, transition ownership back to Rogue. Same thing with the Discord. So the Discord thing that I am no longer kind of, nor was I at the beginning. I just built the Discord because I thought it was a good idea. So therefore, it's more in the admin stages of Rogue. So I really can't answer to the changes that you're going to be seeing on the Discord. I can just assure you that the direction that it's going is going to be more about growth. It's going to be very robust. I just simply don't have enough time in the day to manage all the processes and everything that's involved. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Annie. So that kind of answers in regards to the Discord. But like I spoke earlier, there no longer will be initial invite link to the Rogue Discord. It's now going to be a public invite that you can share over and over. I don't mind that. I just think that, I initially wanted an email request because I wanted somebody to send an email so that we could validate, that they had an email account, that they requested it, versus more just an open type invite that's going to allow potentially a lot of trolls to be coming into the Rogue Discord. So we'll be mindful of that. We can cross that bridge as we need to. But I digress. Let's get back to the topic of Moscow, Xi, and Putin. And there's going to be numerous attempts, in particular here in the United States, to really divert attention away from the entire narrative of what's happening to the United States, what's happening to the entire West. And that comes in a couple of different facets, one of which is the upcoming election cycle. And I'm laughing right now in regards to the entire narrative of this Trump arrest. I'd love to hear from you. Please post in the comments your thoughts on this entire narrative of a Trump arrest. I firmly, for one, I don't support it. It's completely political. But I think that there are certain narratives that are attempted to be built here. You see this one, for example, AI generated cops nailing and jailing Trump. This is a psyche. This is the media's attempt to paint this picture of Trump being arrested. But I think they're smart enough. I don't give them too much credit in terms of being smart, But I think that we have to realize a couple of things. And I've been listening to a lot of commentary. I've been listening to quite a bit of Twitter spaces, and very few have really came to the conclusion that I have, is that Trump himself is a very important facet of the narrative of what's attempting to being built. And I can't remember the name of the gentleman that was providing commentary to this here. I'm not even sharing my screen. Let me get this article up so you guys can see it. There you go. Now you should be able to see this. Sorry about that. So this is what was taking place in regards to the narrative that was being built. Even Trump himself came out and said, look, I'm scheduled to be arrested on Wednesday. You know, come out and protest. I know V and Gus laughed about that today and spoke about that. Much like he came to your defense on January 6th, it didn't happen. But give me a little bit of leeway on this. I think in part because I think the apparatus of the control state understands. Bill, guy, you are on point. You are on point. It's a very complicated stunt, and I'm going to attempt to do my best to walk you through this. Okay. So what's happening right now is that you're looking at a very divided party of the GOP. You're looking at a lot of wealthy donors who are looking at DeSantis, saying we want DeSantis to be our front person. You're dealing with some of the I won't call them alt-right, that's not fair, but some of the other GOP that are saying no, we want Trump to be the front runner. To me, what this is an attempt to do is to really amplify the involvement of the people that support Trump, and even people who are potentially some of the libertarians, people that are the independent voters, to say this is wrong. We need to back Trump. So to me, this is a big effort to get more momentum shifted to Trump, more energy, more people to really support the idea in terms of Trump as a GOP, Trump as a MAGA, and to really solidify Trump as the candidate elect for the nomination for president. And I think that there's some pretty concise information to back this. Two things in particular, okay? And I really want you to put your thinking caps on and think about this big picture, okay? Put your emotions aside, whatever, okay? Trump and himself, okay? He is the Democratic Party's best weapon. Let me say that again. He is the Democratic Party's best weapon. Why do I say that? Because people, voters, Democratic side, and I want you to keep in mind, I'm non-political. I'm politically homeless. I don't care regardless. I really don't anymore. I truly mean that. I don't care about U.S. politics anymore. I really don't. Why am I commenting on it? Because I'm trying to get people to understand this, because more people spend way too much time focused on this bullshit than they should. So what's happening is the Democratic Party understands that Trump as the nominee gets their base. Hate, I've always said this, hate is a very powerful weapon, okay? And there's enough people on the Democratic side that hate Trump regardless of what he is, okay? They just hate him, pure hatred, that it amplifies their message to become more active as a voter. And why is that important? Is because if they do put up Joe Biden as their candidate, and we know that he's not exactly an energetic candidate. It's too easy to beat up on Joe. I'm going to leave him alone. I'll leave that to the rest of the commentators. They're going to have a struggle, right? They're going to have a struggle. So to me, the left understands that they would much rather have a Biden versus Trump 2.0 versus a DeSantis versus Biden. Because I think a DeSantis would win, because I think a DeSantis would be able to pull and to resonate upon his accomplishments a lot more people who understood DeSantis's accomplishments, and potentially pull voters away, from the moderates, from the people, but there's enough hatred there that even the people that potentially were moderates that don't like Joe Biden, they would vote against Trump just because they hate him. They don't care. It's just pure hatred of Trump. So therefore, Trump is better for the Democratic Party as an opposing candidate than DeSantis, because I think DeSantis would clearly win an election flat out versus Trump. I think the Donald's going to have a big struggle at this. And so that's what I think that this entire narrative of Trump arrest is doing, is attempting to solidify his base and getting some of the moderates to come out to support him. Because again, I'm a politically homeless person. I'm very independent, but I don't like what's happening in terms of the political attacks and political attempts to arrest us. And it truly would be unprecedented in regards to the arrest of a former president. I don't know if that's happened before, but again, I think it's just a stage co-op. Another factor that you have to remember is that the media, Truth Social. Can somebody in the chat, is Truth Social Trump's social media platform? Truth Social is struggling. Financially, they're struggling. They've had some layoffs. They're not gaining the traction that they thought they would. I don't do Truth Social. I don't have the app, whatever. The last thing that I want to do is to jump on a platform that's just more of the same. I don't need to be involved in a media platform. It's just full of people who are just agreeing with the same thing. And the moment that you're opposed to that, the moment you get, shadow banned and click whatever. So think of Trump and his legacy, right? Think of the Trump brand. And so the last thing that he wants to do is to be involved with a piss poor social media platform that's dying, that's struggling to perform. So what better way of amping and getting people to Truth Social than posting over there and saying, hey, they're coming to get me, get on Truth Social. We need to do this. So everything to me is kind of a pump and dump. Yeah, Truth Social is Trump's. That's what I thought. So again, take it from that perspective that this very well could be an opportunity. And word is that there's a merger in the works with Truth Social. So maybe he's trying to drive up the interest in Truth Social. The last thing that would be good for Trump right now is to be involved with another. No, I should say another, but a brand or something that struggles and absolutely fails. So again, that's my take on this entire DeSantis Trump battle that's happening between the two. I personally, in my own opinion, I hope that DeSantis stays in Florida. I know I think that if I was a consultant, I'd be telling DeSantis that right now maybe your prime time to jump in for an election, and it probably is with the momentum that he has going. I mean, there's no doubt the guy understands the system. Does he have flaws? Like, yeah, he does. Every candidate does. But I think if you look at how he works he understands the legislative side. He knows how to get things accomplished other than a tweet, other than being angry about something. So I find some of his ideas refreshing, but I'm so focused right now on staying on the state level and power to that. In his most recent comment, which I think was pretty darn awesome. If I don't have the link put up, so shame on me for not having it. But in DeSantis's most recent comment, he was very critical of the Fed and very critical of the central bank's digital currency, even to the point where he said that Florida wouldn't allow it, that he would pass legislation or do something to disrupt their attempts to create that type of digital type currency. So we'll see. Which that pivots me to the next topic of tonight's live stream, and that's what's happening with the banks, and what's happening with our current economic system that's taking place. So I have an article bookmarked that's not there anymore. I don't know where it went. I apologize. I'm kind of a hot mess right now with the live stream, because again, it's a completely different system. It's a little bit navigating through some of this. I'll get through it eventually. There we go. Okay, so so we all know what's happening with Credit Suisse, the entire banking sector, right? The entire banking sector of the most recent bank failures, and but we also have to acknowledge, what did the Fed do today? The Fed raised hike by 0.25%. And while everyone is looking at the short term in terms of what this means, I think that what I'm going to try to project to everyone to understand tonight is the reasons why that this is important. Pardon me. A little tequila and pineapple tonight. So, so in my humble opinion, I think what's happening and what's attempting to take shape is the pivot. And much like COVID consolidated a lot of business, consolidated a lot of retail, consolidated some powers. It really put a lot of small businesses basically, out of business, and allowed the consolidation into more of the bigger big box retailers that were, for some reason, were allowed to remain open. We're not going to hash that back out, but why do I say that in regards to the Fed and to banks? I personally believe that the Fed is giving up on retail banking as a big picture, because they continue overnight lending. They continue despite everything that they say, they're still doing quantitative easing right now. They're going to, this whole idea of raised by 0.25%, I think, is an intention to continue that consolidation of banks, because right now there's too many financial institutions who are insolvent. And then, more importantly, when you're trying to roll out a new financial system, the Fed Now program, which is the instant payment system, the central bank digital currencies, you do not want a large. I'll expose it. I'll tell it this way. So let's say that you're wanting everyone to have a certain amount of internet access. You're wanting to regulate it. You're wanting to control what people see. You're wanting to do that. You want to circumvent, and the last thing that you don't want to do is to have 35 internet providers around the United States, because you don't want them not participating in terms of what they're wanting to do. You want to have a filter. You want to consolidate that. You want to bring that together, because the more that you can consolidate, the more that you can bring together, the more that you can regulate it, because those active participants are in there are going to sign up for those programs that you're going to mandate. So to me, I think the goal is to consolidate the banking sector. I think the goal is to get to 3 or 4 large banks here in the United States, wipe out credit unions, wipe out your local banks, regional banks. And because when you consolidate banking that much, and these banks, trust me, JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon will be the first to sign up for the central bank digital currency. They will be the first to sign up for those. So what you can't afford to do as you're rolling out a new financial model is to allow a bigger bandwidth of different banks and institutions who are not willing to jump on that. You want to consolidate that. So so this Fed rate is an attempt to continue that consolidation. I think they're happy with the bank failures. They'll continue to prop it up, but what's that doing? That propping up is leading to other banks, other financial institutions come in and buy those financial institutions dirt cheap, and at the same time get money from the federal government as a stopgap, so that they don't lose their pants off buying all the bad debt associated with those banks. Does that make sense to everyone? That's my analysis of it, is that it's a consolidation, and therefore when you consolidate and you only have 3 or 4 different banking institutions, you can roll out your central bank digital currencies, and people will have no choice. You will have no choice to banking, the equivalent of 25 years ago when everyone was dependent upon AT&T. Do you remember when everyone had a home phone way back in the days? Do you remember when we had AT&T and we were paying like $100 a month just for our phone service and nothing else? And what happened when they deregulated that industry? We had an industry that died. We had a home phone system that completely died. I don't know if you're doing new home construction, do they even put a phone line in anymore? I think they put like in my new place, they put a networking interface that's, broadband through and everything else like that. I don't even know if I have a home phone jack anywhere in the house to, let's see here. Like Senor B says, you'll be a credit union in the evening and wake up using JPM. That's exactly true. I have a landline. Annie, God bless you. I'm glad you still have a landline. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I think that's what's happening. And a lot of people don't understand that. They're looking at, the banking system is going to collapse, and all these things are taking place, and the sky is falling. And no, this is an attempt to evolve. This is an attempt to evolve into the next sector of banking and finance, away from the conglomerate of choices that we currently have into a limited amount of banks, forcing people to participate in those networks of a new financial system that they dictate. So again, share that, share this message. I think we need to get people to understand truly, what that is. The next thing that I want to talk about is in regards to content, and I've been listening to quite a few different people talk about Twitter, and I'm actively on Twitter. I'm enjoying Twitter more now than any other time, but I'm also skeptical. And so the last probably 3 to 4 months, I've been really active participating in Twitter Spaces. So I'm hopefully everyone here. Let me stop this screen because I'm going to be sharing audio here in a second, and I need to reactivate it. Select a screen, an entire screen. Go there and share audio. So, so Twitter Spaces. Elon Musk purchased Twitter. I know some of the people, the commentators, even here on Rogue, are very skeptical of Twitter, Elon Musk. I'm still out there as far as understanding, but I do have some concern. I do have some concern in regards to Twitter, and in particular with Twitter Spaces. So, so Twitter, wants to have this image of being totally open, totally, transparent, uncensored. And what I'm finding is that in some of the robust conversations that are taking place is that the truth tellers are the ones that are being shadow banned in these Twitter Spaces. And what I found is that over the past probably 30 to 60 days, that like I'll jump into a Twitter Space and I'll raise my hand to participate. That's how you do it. You press a button that I want to be a guest speaker, and I'll do it correctly, but I really share some of the same things I'm sharing with you here, and also being critical of their narratives, critical of Trump, critical of people who are against Ukraine. And what I found myself is I'm kind of shadow banned in the Twitter Spaces. And how I know that I'm being shadow banned is because, and I'm not upset about it. I don't care. I got my big boy pants on tonight. Is that literally I'll raise my hand to like comment, and I notice that my request will be turned off, and it'll be turned off by the guest host of this, because they're basically creating a vacuum of ideas, and anyone that counters that narrative, they completely shut down. And the eerie thing is this. Is with Twitter Spaces is that a lot of the channels that are popping up that are getting a significant amount of followers, these Twitter Spaces are kind of reminds me of when Trump and the QAnon movement came aboard, and we started seeing these YouTube channels. Does anyone else remember this, when there'd be the 24/7 Patriot stream, like on YouTube, it'd be 24/7 of streaming of the white hats and filling a narrative void. And you'd log in to watch this stream, and there'd be 20,000 people listening to this stream. But it was conditioning. It was building a narrative, but they wouldn't allow anyone else counter to their narrative really participate. And the eerie thing that I'm saying is that Twitter Spaces is kind of becoming that same thing. You're getting some of these people who are creating these spaces with pretty significant streams that don't allow any counter narrative, but they'll get 10,000 people in a stream that they condition to their thought process, their ideologies, but they don't allow people to counter the conversation. So to me, Twitter Spaces is kind of at risk of becoming that false, bogus type narrative of what. And I'm going to play and give you an example of what this sounds like. So we're going to be jumping in a Twitter Space, and I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to try to participate so you can see what I'm talking about. So here we go. Let me know if the audio is coming through. Oh, this one ended. Oh, my bad. Yeah, let me close. That was a terrible example because once a space ends, it then becomes a recorded conversation. And so what I did was I bookmarked that one a lot earlier, and now they've shut it down. But I'll find another one here real quick. Here's another one. Yeah, so let me email this to myself. Oh yeah, this is another one. Let me email this to myself. Start listening. You may be able to hear this for a second, but I'm going to email it to myself. Copy link. It's weird being desktop to mobile. It's much easier to do on the phone right now versus the desktop. But I need to email myself this link real quick, and then I can kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. So bear with me for a second. I think this is important. I think it's important to understand what, to me, and my opinion of what Twitter is becoming is a kind of a disinformation type platform, and they're feeding that to thousands of people. Here we go. Okay, so I'm opening it right now. So bear with me again. Once again, I'm bringing this in, and we'll jump in. And I'll give you an example of what this sounds like, so you have an understanding. This is Twitter Spaces. This is one of the channels, American Mission, that to me, again, I'm shadow banned there. Anytime I raise my hand, they will not allow me to comment. Here we go. Not mad about it. I just don't think that that's part of what building a town forum is about.
Happening.
Maybe that. I think that's a true
Let me know
story.
if you can hear it.
I think I do believe there's a horrible cycle going on. And it's been going on for the last 10, 15 years. It's tit for tat on absolutely everything. You know, we were discussing the Trump indictment potentially that's going to happen, and we both know now that basically, you know, it's going to give free recourse to go after the monies that were handed over from the Clinton campaign, with the steel thing, and you know, then we're going to have prosecutions of Biden and Hunter Biden and so on and so forth. Now, do they need to be investigated in a proper, mature manner? Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, the money that Soros is pouring in to get this DA elected, and he's been undermining the education system in different states for the last 15, 20 years.
You can barely see it, but
where do
put
we
my mouse over? So there I am in the space,
and this is just benefits.
So you won't be able to see me raise my hand to speak, but I'm going to do it on my phone.
Is the CCP and our competitors
request to speak?
It really does, because we're just destabilizing the entire republic, and it's becoming a laughing stock.
No, it's absolutely the point. And the tit for tat,
and then here in a second,
leads
they
us
will
just down
cancel the
a
request
death spiral of like weaponizing the government against people, Spaces. And it never ends up getting used against the people who actually deserve it. Right? It ends up crushing the smaller people, and it is a terrible cycle. History has shown us. Like once you go there, It's really hard to get that genie back in the bottle, if not impossible. And that's why we should be conscientious of what we're talking about here. But it's also why we need to like crush the media and build up new media where we do things a little differently so that we can come to like some kind of combined reality. And to do that, you guys,
new media.
I'm excited to announce, I just got word from the developers that the garbage fail NFTs will reveal in your wallets for everybody who minted.
NFTs.
They will reveal in your wallets in 15 minutes. So very excited about that. If you guys are following the Garbage Fail Journalist Tournament of Hacks, you can see we're making a complete mockery of some of the worst examples of hackery in the media, and we're using it as an excuse.
So here's what's going to happen. Hey, Carrie, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to let me on this time to prove me wrong with their shadow ban. Hang on.
It looks like 14 minutes. Go to garbagefail.com, click the mint button. You actually don't even need an NFT wallet or any experience in crypto. Just click mint, click I don't have a wallet, and it'll walk you right through the process. It's quick and easy. It's a great way to support American Mission and all we're doing in these spaces to build a new dynamic. And it's a fun way to get involved in this tournament where we're going to just expose
you can't see it,
all of these hacks who push these mainstream narratives that have caused this divide between all of us for so long. And it's a great way to do it. I hope you guys will get involved. We're going to have a lot of fun. Let's go, as Trash would say. Great to see everybody. Phenom, go ahead, get back in here.
Hey, so a couple things. I see we changed the topic, but I had just wanted to add that, you know, really
probably Village guy
I don't know if he's still here, who was questioning if there could have been any Antifa in the crowd, but it was in mainstream news. They showed one of the gentlemen.
Yeah, this person, I'll bring up their profile. Phenom,
breaking the window
she hates
and wearing
me.
MAGA gear.
I started speaking bad about Trump, and she just kept. She has like this calm voice that like you can hear her talk.
For Obama twice and never voted.
And so I tried to like
Trump.
slam Trump and everything, and she like shut me off instantly.
So, you know, I don't know. Some of the headlines were calling him Antifa. I don't know if that's true, but he definitely was not a Trump supporter.
Now Maze, she's another huge personality in Twitter Spaces. You probably know right that here, already, Maze.
I just kind of wanted to say that.
She's pretty balanced. Like she allows the discourse. She will.
That they are going to postpone the Proud Boys trial till Friday.
20,000 followers. She will allow some of the discourse to take place. So she's,
there was
I think, much more level about it than anyone else.
But getting close to the defense's family, attending prayer.
Quiet. I see that. UT.
And trying to, you know, befriending the family.
Other than just coming up the mic and talking right next to it.
So that shows just like further,
I'll adjust my volume. Give me a second.
Allegedly.
And thank God Tucker,
too loud.
Tucker has unwound. So like in this garbage now, we have up to the like J6 narrative enforcers in there, right? Because here you have every major media outlet, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, you name it, Washington Post, New York Times. They all had dedicated like J6 beat reporters, and yet like none of these stories that like Tucker has released and shown like we're able to like get oxygen. Jacob Chansley is absolutely abhorrent. If you watch all the videos of how he acted inside, he tried to act as a peacemaker in almost every case. And the idea that he spent years of his life in prison is absolutely terrible. And it literally only took like Tucker Carlson 2 episodes to start unwinding like all of this narrative that they've been spinning for years. It's absolutely nuts.
Skip me for a second and come right back.
All right, sounds good, you guys. I do not want to spend all night talking about January 6th, though. So, like, please just keep in mind that, like, I get why we're talking about it and hammering it out, but I would like to see us move on and, like, make the discussion a little more productive. Go ahead, Tim.
All right, I just want to kind of circle back to the way that Maze started this off tonight. Maze is always so over the target with.
Actually, I'm thinking about putting some different colors in my hair.
I would argue that the left and the right, especially on the extremes, we're not that different. We've got to find a way to come together in the center. You know, you look at Antifa and you look at a group like the Proud Boys. Yeah, they have some different beliefs, but what they're fighting for, kind of on the surface, is kind of the same thing.
They're not going to remove my request, so I'm just gonna back out of that altogether, just for saving us all some time. But so yeah, so why I shared that was because that's what I kind of envision my idea of this new media concept evolving to. Open Mic Cast is more open dialogue, especially some of the people like in the chat that would love to jump on and join a discussion. I find those much more enjoyable, the back and forth banter, and whether it's agreeing or disagreeing. I find that much more enjoyable than I do the long monologue type commentary where someone talks for like 5-10 minutes straight. I just sometimes I really struggle and fall asleep through some of that, which literally I've done. No offense to Matthew Arrowhead at all. I promise you, I love Matt. He's one of the best. So that's kind of the concept that I'm building with this Open Mic Cast, is more of an open type town hall forum, and I wish that Twitter Spaces could have been it. Because again, I think that it allows an opportunity for people to jump in and provide comment in a different type of platform. Because I think that we learn something from each other, right? I think it's very important to understand that we all have our belief structure, we all have our we should have our convictions, things that we firmly believe, but we should also question some of the things that are happening, because like many people have learned, I don't know why, many people may have learned that maybe the government doesn't want the best for you. Maybe the health institutions that were supposed to be out to protect you and look out for you, maybe they don't have your best interest in mind. So we've learned some of those things, and I think that that's important. So that's kind of my goal, my vision of Open Mic Cast, is creating that type of content. So any people that are tuning in that would be willing, I don't know what my schedule is going to look like yet. I'm really trying to still figure out with V what my schedule is going to look like, so that we can get back on shows together. But again, it's been kind of sporadic lately. Primarily because of some of the new commitments that I've entered into. I am on mute. I knew you were on mute, CJ. Whatever, we don't hear you. Am I on mute right now? I hope I'm not. I don't think I am. Oh, you're talking about Twitter Spaces. I need to shut down that because it's still streaming. Okay. There we go. Okay. So again, getting back to it, is that we will find a way to regroup, to get back to the streaming process. I'm leaning a couple different ways. It's either stream earlier in the day, maybe like a 7 a.m. Stream, or potentially an evening stream like I'm doing tonight. Through the day, it's possible. It's just going to be a matter of coordinating it. But getting back to a regular schedule so that we can continue, sharing information that's just so critical right now to help all of us. So again, just to recap real quick, more importantly is that you don't need to email me for an invite to the Rogue Discord. There's an open link now that should be posted in some of the channels that are in the Discord. If you have questions in regard to the Rogue Discord, some of the changes, just post it in the Discord itself, in the announcements or somewhere in there. Again, because some of the admin things and like that, I've kind of relinquished some of that. So it's been kind of a difficulty. Celeste is saying, do it in the evening. I agree, because in the morning I struggle. So I get up and try to get to the gym, and it's busy enough. Maybe through the course of the day, kind of a recap of the news cycle that happens. Celeste, if I do the evening, I'm going to be counting on you to jump in the stream to provide commentary, though, because it's no fun doing these things flying solo. I don't mind it, but it's better with the back. Yeah, I'm a night owl too. Anybody been watching any good shows lately? I jumped into the Mayor of Kingston, not Kingston. It's the one with the guy from the Avengers. But I started watching it, and I kind of liked it because it's kind of like that gangster, that good bad guy type thing. So, all right, I'm going to be closing out the stream. I apologize for my long absence. I assure you it was for a good reason. I changed. I moved into a new house. And anytime that you move, it's a big process. I got involved with a new venture that I've committed to, that's kind of changing my schedule around a little bit. And so I'm trying to, keep to that commitment and limit the distraction that has, required me to go through and get some additional type of, certifications, training, all that kind of good stuff. So it's been, the last 30 days has just been a whirlwind. Like it just, and I know everyone has their challenges, but literally it kicked my ass. There was some day that I was literally exhausted, and as much as I wanted to jump in and do streams and everything like that, it was more or less just like, okay, which box do I need to open up next? But got the internet, got the office set up. It's not tweaked perfect because this mic that I have right here, you can't see this mic. You guys can't hear it. It's not working very well. So that sucks. I hate that I have this mic. So I'll figure out what's going on with my setup, get it fixed. It looks like the bandwidth is holding okay, because I had to go to wireless and do a new mesh network to keep, for the speed, because there's certain speed that's required for this when you're not hardline. Thank you, VM. Much love to you. So I'm going to be closing out the stream. It's good to be back. It's good to be back behind the mic. We're in this together, and I truly mean that as we navigate through this transition that we're all going through. We're all experiencing it. So let's continue the good vibration, the pattern that's going to help each other. So peace and love to all of you. This is CJ signing out. God bless, and we will see you real soon. Take care, everyone. We'll see you over in the Discord. Take care, everyone. Good night.